5 signs of a psychopath that are immediately visible. Right now, while you're watching this video, a psychopath might be sitting next to you. The statistics are harsh. 1 in 25 people is a psychopath. This means that in your office, in your home, among your friends, there are people who are absolutely incapable of empathy. You think psychopaths are rare, that they're necessarily maniacs with axes? Not at all. Most psychopaths look completely normal. They go to work, start families, smile to your face, and at the same time they're planning how to use you for their own purposes. But there are 5 signs that give away a psychopath completely. Signs that they cannot hide, no matter how hard they try. And today, I will teach you to recognize them. The first and most insidious sign is their incredible charm. Psychopaths can make any person like them within minutes. They're like chameleons, instantly adapting to each person they talk to. Talking to an intellectual, the psychopath becomes a philosopher. Chatting with a simple person, they become one of the guys. They study you like a book and give you exactly what you want to get from the conversation. But here's the catch. Normal people can't be liked by absolutely everyone. Everyone has their own character, their own quirks. But a psychopath? They're like an actor playing a role depending on their audience. If someone is liked by everyone without exception, if everyone admires their charm, if they become the life of the party too quickly, that's a red flag. Genuine charm has its limits. Artificial charm is limitless. Imagine a colleague who, in their first week at work, became best friends with everyone in the office. They discuss family problems with the accountant, development strategies with the boss, and life struggles with the janitor. Sounds like the perfect person? Now think about it. Where do they get all that time and energy for everyone? And most importantly, why?
The second sign, psychopaths never feel guilt. Never. They can destroy someone's life and sleep soundly. Moreover, they genuinely don't understand what they should apologize for. This isn't an act, their brains are wired differently. The areas responsible for empathy and guilt work extremely weakly. For them, other people's emotions are just information, nothing more. Late to an important meeting and ruined the project, there was traffic, what could I do? Cheated on his wife, she drove me to it with her behavior. Deceived a friend? What is he, a child? He should have checked himself. A psychopath always has an explanation for their actions, and others are always to blame for them. Circumstances, weather, the government, anyone but them. But the scariest part, they can imitate remorse when it's beneficial. They'll cry, ask for forgiveness, swear they'll never do it again, and then do the same thing again. Because for them, it's just a performance. I know the story of a man who stole money from the family budget for gambling. When his wife found out, he sobbed, begged for forgiveness, promised to get treatment. A month later, he stole again. When asked, "How could you?" he replied, "What's the big deal? I returned the money last time." Really so far.
The third sign, psychopaths lie constantly, even when the truth would be more convenient. They don't just lie out of necessity, but because it's their natural state. A normal person might lie to avoid trouble or not upset someone close. A psychopath lies about what they had for breakfast. Why? Why not? They're easy to catch if you pay attention. Their stories don't add up. Today they tell one version of events, a week later, another, all while maintaining a completely innocent expression. The most frightening part? They start believing their own lies. They create entire alternative realities and genuinely live in them. Try to catch them in a lie, they'll defend their version to the bitter end. Psychopaths love telling grandiose stories about themselves. How they saved a drowning child, how they turned down their dream job on principle, how their ex is stalking them because she can't forget them. Want to test a psychopath? Ask them to tell the same story a month later. Or ask for details. Where exactly did this happen? What was that person's name? You'll see how they start squirming. An acquaintance of mine was dating a man who claimed he worked at a major IT company. 6 months later, It turned out he was a delivery driver. When asked why he lied, he replied, "What's the big deal? I was planning to apply there anyway."
The fourth sign. Psychopaths are emotionally cold as ice. They can act out emotions, but they don't feel them. For them, emotions are tools for manipulation. Have you ever seen someone look at others suffering with complete indifference? Not sadistically, not with pleasure, just nothing. Like looking at a broken TV, that's exactly it. Their reactions to emotional events are inappropriate. At funerals, they might laugh at a joke. At weddings, discuss business matters. Not because they want to shock, but because they don't feel the atmosphere. They study human emotions like a foreign language. They know that in this situation, you should be sad, in this one, happy. But they do it mechanically, without inner experience. Pay attention to their eyes in moments when they think no one is watching. Emptiness, as if nobody's home. And then, snap, the charming smile returns when they notice your gaze. Ask them to talk about an important emotional event, a wedding, birth of a child, death of a loved one. They'll tell you the facts, but won't be able to convey the feelings. Yeah, I cried, everyone was crying, so I cried too. In critical situations, they remain suspiciously calm, not because they're strong-spirited, but because they don't experience fear or anxiety at the same level as normal people.
The fifth and final sign. Psychopaths live only for today. They're impulsive, irresponsible, and incapable of long-term planning. They make life-changing decisions in seconds. Buy a car on credit? Easy. Quit their job for a dubious project? Why not? Move to another city to live with a stranger? Sounds like a plan. The most striking thing, they don't learn from mistakes. They can step on the same rake for years. Because they don't analyze the consequences of their actions. Psychopaths are eternal debtors. Not because they're poor, but because they don't plan. They borrow money and forget about it. Take out loans without thinking about payments. Live as if consequences don't exist. They constantly change plans. Agreed to meet, changed their mind at the last minute. Planned a vacation, spent the money on something else. Promised to help, forgot within an hour. For them, a promise is just words. They make promises easily, beautifully, convincingly, and just as easily break them. Circumstances changed. I didn't know. What am I supposed to do now? When their irresponsibility leads to problems, they blame the system. Banks are thieves. The boss is an idiot. The government sucks. Everything around them is wrong, but they're never living incorrectly. A man took out a loan for a car, then another for repairs, then a third for vacation. When banks started demanding payments, he was genuinely surprised. How was I supposed to know I'd have to pay it back? They offered it themselves.
Did you recognize someone from your inner circle?